Hello and welcome to Whatcha Reading. I am your host. My name is Brenna. I'm the advisory supervisor here at the Skokie Public Library. Today I am joined by Paul. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Paul. I am an advisory specialist. You will find me on the first floor most of the time.
Happy to have you on today.
I'm happy to be here.
So as always, we're going to talk about 6 books total. We'll tell you what we have read, what we're reading now, and what we're reading next. Paul, would you like to get us started with what you have read recently?
Yes, I would love to. I've read the book recently called From Here to the Great Unknown by Lisa Marie Presley and her daughter Riley Keough. This is a memoir following Lisa Marie Presley and her childhood, starting from her childhood, going through pretty much all of her life and what it was like to be the daughter of Elvis, what it was like to be a romantic partner of Michael Jackson. And as I was reading it, first, it felt like many other celebrity memoirs that I've read in the past, but for whatever reason, even though it's very straightforward and it's a rather easy read, I felt very compassionate and empathetic for her. And she did a great job in kind of describing the world that she was in and the childhood that she had at Graceland. If anything, I felt like I could picture Graceland, even though I myself haven't seen too many pictures of it. And so it moves pretty quickly. The audiobook is what I would recommend if possible, just because it is narrated by Julia Roberts and Riley Keough. And there are snippets from Lisa Marie Presley herself from tapes that she was recording as she was working on this memoir. So if you're into celebrity memoirs, I recommend this one.
Yeah, I actually read that one recently as well on your recommendation. And I think I messed up because I read the physical book and I think I should have listened to the audio because it sounds like a really good one.
The audio was really good. And one of our colleagues here works in programming. His name is Rick. Shout out to Rick, by the way. He was just had nothing but good things to say about it and couldn't stop talking about it. So I was like, okay, maybe for this one, I'm going to lean audio. And I'm glad that I did.
Great. Yeah, my first book is also something that came heavily recommended by our staff. It's Forest Euphoria, The Abounding Queerness of Nature by Patricia Ononiwu Kaishian. And as you can tell by the title, it is science and nature nonfiction, but I would really categorize it as a memoir. So the author, Patricia, talks about her childhood, which was spent largely in the woods and the swamps by her house. And she has this affinity for kind of the misunderstood creatures of the forest. So slugs and snakes and mushrooms is her main interest. And she feels a little bit left out in her childhood, or like she doesn't quite fit in, but she does feel like she fits in the outdoors. And she grows up, becomes a mycologist, and finds this great community with the other scientists that she's working with. And she does identify as queer, so she talks about how a lot of nature is non-binary. One example that she gives are a certain type of eels that are intersex until the last year of their life. So it is a memoir, but it's interspersed with these little like science and nature examples. So I think anyone who has an interest in that type of genre would enjoy this one. One section that I really connected with, she talks about something called sit spots, which is a space in nature that you go to regularly just to observe and be present. And maybe you meditate or you draw or you just observe the different seasons and the different animals and plants in that one spot. And I thought that was just a really cool idea. It's something I might start doing after reading this book. If anyone is a fan of Robin Wall Kimmerer's Braiding Sweetgrass or any of her other books, I think they would enjoy this one. It is Forest Euphoria by Patricia Ononiwu Kaishian. So tell me about what you're reading now.
What I'm reading now. Currently reading The Emperor of Gladness by Vuong. It took me a while to get to this one. I loved his first book, or first novel, called On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous. And I will say, I knew that when I did pick this one up, that I would have to live in a certain world for quite some time. It's a book, Vuong as a writer is just one where every word counts. Every word is beautiful, and there's so much attention to detail, yet he's able to articulate things that are very profound in a way that's beautiful, heartbreaking, and moving. And The Emperor of Gladness is no different. This book is about a young man by the name of Hai, who was questioning continuing on with life, and then is interrupted by an 80-something-year-old woman and somehow or another he becomes her kind of caretaker, and the two of them go on this journey and this relationship and friendship that is unlikely, but if anything, is very, very deep and very, very beautiful. Again, just like On Earth We're Perfectly Gorgeous, every scene is just loaded with imagery. The prose is as poetic as poetry. And I think anyone who is into literary fiction and the craft of writing and prose, this is a very good choice for you. Like anything, Ocean Vuong, a big thing about him as an author is that he kind of simultaneously talks about beauty and pain at the same time and kind of describes it as two sides to the same coin. So you're in for a long and deep but profound journey if you pick this one up.
I have read his other book and just emotionally devastating. Like such a beautiful novel, but it's very heavy. But this one sounds excellent as well.
Yeah, it's good. I think compared to the last one, I mean, again, I'm a huge fan of anything that Ocean Vuong does, but the dialogue in this one, there are a lot of moments where I found myself chuckling, whereas the other book I was not. I was
so a little bit lighter.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Great.
How about you, Brenna? What are you reading?
I am reading a cookbook. Gonna mix things up a little bit here. It is called My Half Latinx Kitchen, Half Recipes, Half Stories, All Latin American by Kiera, Wright, Ruiz. And first thing I want to mention about this, which is so important with cookbooks, is that the photos are really great. Every once in a while I pick up a cookbook and it's just like a wall of text and I'm like, no, I need to see how fantastic the food looks if I'm going to feel inspired to do this. So here's one example. So the author Kiera, she's a food writer and recipe developer. As you can tell by the title, she identifies as half Latinx and half Asian. And each section of the book is kind of in honor of some part of her ancestry. So for example, there's one section called My Mexican Grandma, and it starts with a little intro, kind of an essay about her relationship with her grandmother, and it's followed by recipes from a Mexican influence. And a lot of sections have a little like personal note about why it's important to her or her connection to her family, which is a nice little touch. I've only made one recipe from it so far. It is for horchata and something that I love to order when I'm out to eat, but never tried making it at home. And it was fairly simple, straightforward recipe. It was really good. So I'm looking forward to trying out a few other things from this book.
That was good. Okay.
Yeah. It is My Half Latinx Kitchen by Kiera, Wright, Ruiz. So tell me about what you're reading next.
What I'm reading next, it's called Water Moon by Samantha, Sotto, Yambao. It's a bit outside of what I normally read. This is a contemporary fantasy. Starts off in Tokyo with a pawn shop and its owner. And it's a pawn shop that's kind of in the back alley or back road somewhere. And it looks like a ramen shop to most people, but a few who are chosen, for reasons you will find out in reading the book, get to see it for what it is. And it's a pawn shop where you can kind of trade in your regrets. And the owner is a newer owner, and she, I think the first day of her ownership, walks into the store and finds that one of the most important pieces is missing, along with her father, who was the previous owner. And so from there, you are thrown into a journey alongside Hana, the main character, and also this other character who ends up helping her through a magical world where you can ride on paper cranes. And when I read that, I was like, I think I'm in, because I want to know what it's like to ride on a paper crane. And so from there, the two of them are kind of on this mystery journey quest to find this item, and along the way, many things happen, many things are seen. There's humor, bit of romance, mystery, intrigue, all set in a very anime-inspired-ish, Studio Ghibli-ish kind of world that's magical and kind of dreamlike. So I'm really, really looking forward to this.
Great. I love the cover. It's very,
it's
as you said, it looks very dreamlike. It's great colors.
How about you, Brenna?
My next book is The Girls Who Grew Big by Leila Mottley. And first thing I want to mention about this book is that the author is 23 years old. And this is her second book. Her first book was nominated for the Booker Prize. So I'm like, if anybody has accomplished that much by 23, I need to know what they're about. So I'm really excited to start this one. It is about a group of teenage moms in a town called Padua Beach, Florida. A lot of it takes place on the beach. This character is wearing a swimming suit, I believe, by the way. And they don't like quite fit in their town because they are teenage mothers. So they've formed this community within each other. And it follows three characters in particular who have become kind of close. And one of them is essentially living in a pickup truck with her two children. Another one is bringing her newborn son to high school with her every single day, even though she's been told that she can't. She's like, nope, I'm going to finish school. I don't care that you've told me I can't do it. I'm going to bring him. And then the third character is pregnant for the duration of the book. She's deciding if she's going to give her baby up for adoption or raise it herself. And so in addition to being teen moms, they're also just regular teens. They're dealing with going to school. Are they going to go to college? Friendships, relationships, all of that stuff. And the relationship and the friendship between them is really beautiful. And the writing, from all the reviews that I have read about this book, is supposed to be really fantastic. So they're flawed characters, but I think they're very sympathetic and interesting. And I can't wait to pick it up. It is The Girls Who Grew Big by Leila Mottley. So that's all we've got today. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of What You're Reading. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We've got all the books that we talked about in the show notes, and we'd also love to hear from you in the comments on what you thought about these books. We'll see you next time.